岁，来自以色列，是钻石公司的总经理。
He's from Israel.
Oh, okay.
And he is a CEO of a mining company.
I know a few white guys that have moved to like China and stuff to meet their future wives.
Wow.
I mean, and they've been successful.
Wow, exactly.
True story.
Yeah, we should interview some of them. So he drew a picture of a man and a woman half and half because men and women complement each other. And it's not a good artistic picture. It's like a second grade level drawing.
What an idiot.
You gotta do the right type of romantic gesture, and I don't think this was the right romantic gesture. If you draw a picture of the woman really well, so the woman that you want on the show really well, and maybe you somehow morph it with yourself drawn very well, maybe that could work. Or instead of drawing it half and half, why don't you just draw a good picture of her, draw a good picture of yourself, and then have you guys in some kind of fun environment.
Instead of just like a basic like second grade drawing.
Like a second grade chimera.
No offense to second graders, but I mean, I've seen some second grade drawings and they're pretty impressive sometimes.
So you're married. Did you ever draw your wife?
My wife.
So you drew your wife, and was she impressed by this?
I think so. I think you were pretty impressed. I'm talking like she.
So his wife's sitting off camera.
She's sitting off camera. We can't put her on camera. But were you pretty impressed by this? Yeah. So I drew that, but I think it's. Imagine if I did like a half, like I drew like half of each.
Yeah, half of you and then half of her. And imagine if it was kind of like stick figures like what the guy drew.
No, I know. And I did this back in 1997.
1997.
Venom, baby.
So Venom. You're excited for the movie.
I was so... Oh, yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out. Tom Hardy. Did you take drawing experience or did you just learn it by yourself?
I learned by myself.
Oh, wow. So the key is if you want to draw someone... Make sure you draw them well, so take some lessons. Or just draw a dick and send it to them. You know, that's always good.
Hey, man, or just take a picture.
Exactly, just take a picture.
It's more creative, though.
It's more creative to draw the dick. Especially you could, like, take liberties on the sizes.
You know you guys are definitely going to be doing that.
Yeah, especially me. You know, I would always have to take liberties. He's breaking out the Kenny G smooth jazz, man.
This guy, he's pulling out of that. He's pulling everything. He wants to get in there somehow.
But you see, you're from Israel. Why don't you play some like cool Israeli music?
Something that is from your own culture.
Exactly.
Maybe something. I don't know.
Like, distinguish yourself. Don't make yourself look like another Guaylo, right?
Yeah.
Distinguish yourself. I mean, Israeli music's beautiful.
Hafa, Nagila, Hafa, Nagila, Hafa, Nagila, baby. They have that one. And the only reason I know that is because in third grade, they had me sing that with the whole class. Wow. And it just stuck there forever.
Do you remember what the lyrics mean?
Hafa, Nagila. Guys, you're going to have to look that up, man. You got me.
Kolo baleba binima nefeshi hudi homina ufade misrakadima. I still remember it. I still remember it. And I'm singing all the lyrics correctly. I can guarantee any Israeli listener, any Hebrew speaker, any person of Jewish descent, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm singing the right lyrics. Ayin Letzion Sophia.
I mean, it sounds pretty legit to me. I'm from Canada, so I was always just raised singing the Canadian national anthem.
Which is, Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love,
and all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true or strong and free.
You're American now, right?
I'm dual. Yeah, I was born in Canada, but I was born abroad, U.S. citizen. So, yeah, mom's from Chicago, dad's from Ohio.
When you first met your wife, when you were dating, did you try to like bring any cool Canadian culture to impress her?
I actually think she was kind of attracted to me because I was Canadian.
Oh, wow. And back then you had the aboot kind of like, you had that accent a little bit,
I don't know.
Right?
You know what's funny? I still say a quite often, but I never say like aboot. Okay. I say about. And I think it's because my mom's from Chicago and she clearly does not have a Canadian accent.
Oh, I see.
She's so American, it's ridiculous.
I learned my English in Chicago, so I guess that's why. It like gives you American type of accent.
什么语言？用希伯来文。希伯来语，这是希伯来语啊，这个这是希伯来语啊。不，钟老师，您学问渊博，这。我只学过稀里哗啦语，希伯来语我学。
So what just happened there was that he wrote the girl he liked's name in Hebrew.
I'm glad you're here to translate this because I wouldn't know anything that's happening right now.
The female host said, "Oh, you know Hebrew, right?" to the male host. The male host in Chinese, it's a pun. He's saying, "I don't know Hebrew. I know gibberish, but gibberish in Chinese sounds like Hebrew. Like the two words are kind of similar." She was making that joke. That's why it's hard to translate the joke directly.
So wait, he was writing her name in Hebrew to like
impress her. Or partly to kind of keep it a secret. Be like, well, I know who I like, but you guys don't know who I like, so I'm not going to reveal it till the end. Right? That's kind of like little building up suspense, building up tension.
I don't know. I guess so. I don't think that's really impressive.
What was the thing that impressed your wife about you, besides your Canadianness, of course? But what else? Was it your looks? Was it your personality?
I think it was a mixture of personality, looks, I'm hoping. My drive? Would you say my drive, babe?
Look how he always checks with his wife every time. So you're kind of a whipped person, aren't you?
I'm kind of whipped, man. I mean, 8 years in the making. Together for 8, married for 3 or 4 now, but 3. I'm aspiring. I have goals set in motion to accomplish, etc., etc. So I'm not just like a bum.
Exactly.
I have aspirations and dreams.
And you're like 6'5", right? So that helps.
Yeah.
You end up getting the supermodel then, potentially.
I get the supermodel women, for sure. My wife's a supermodel.
That's right.
So your family's a bunch of mathematicians, and then you decided to do humanities, and now you are the CEO of a diamond company. Why so random?
The woman just called him out and said, "What the heck? Why is your life so random?"
It seems so weird. I mean, to be the CEO of a jewelry company, I mean, that's some pretty...
It is pretty random.
It's pretty random, but it's pretty lucrative.
It's pretty lucrative. And I think you hit the nail on the head, which is if someone's asking you, try to call you out, you'd be like, well, I went where the money is.
Yeah.
Very natural thing to say.
Very natural thing to do. Very natural thing to do is go where the money is.
Yeah, go where the money is. I want to survive. I want to eat.
Yeah, well, a lot of women, in my opinion, I notice this as women get older, they look for someone who can provide security.
Yeah.
And I think, it's definitely enticing being a man, being a woman, and having this guy could be like the knight in shining armor or whatever. He can provide her a home, security, food, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Very old school mentality. I think everything's kind of changed nowadays because, both.
Yeah,
couples.
It's a little equality and everything.
It's a little different.
The women on this show, it's China. There's still some traditional values. So she's probably asking this to see, okay, where's his mind at? Like exactly like you said, she's trying to see, is this guy provider material?
Yeah, can he provide for me, etc. I wish I could understand because, then I could really nitpick, but... I'm just going by what you're telling me, Gary.
And your response, I think, is natural. For if she asked me that question, that's what I would say. If she asked you that question, you would say that too.
Yeah.
Let's see how this guy responds.
I found out I was not as good as my father, so I gave up.
He couldn't fill his father's shoes.
Yeah, exactly. He felt like he could never be as good as his father, so I'm just not going to do it.
My dad's an intelligent guy, and he's an engineer and everything, and I wanted to pursue the same career and everything that he was doing, but it was tough. Like I kind of did the same thing he's doing.
True.
I didn't follow my
But you found your own passions, right?
The
thing is, you found your own passions. What he said was not about, I want to explore my own passions. It's my own life. He's just like, I disappointed my father, so I did something else. You see the difference?
Yeah, a big difference.
It's a common thing when people are asked questions they're uncomfortable with. You can either get defensive, which is what that guy was getting. He's trying to justify it in a defensive way, or you can try to reframe and turn the question around. So that's what he should have done.
Saying he was being very defensive.
Yeah, he's being very defensive. He could have been like, it was my passion, and I found my passion. I'm making jewelry for people, and I'm making people happy.
He's making truckloads of money.
You see how you turn it around? I'm making truckloads of money. That's another way of turning it around. But instead he's like, I felt like I disappointed my father. I don't fill his shoes, so I decided to do something else. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
One's negative framing, one's positive framing.
Oh, yeah. You're a very smart guy.
You're a smart guy, too. I mean, you're the one married, although some people could say that's not smart.
I know. Yeah. I definitely didn't rush into it, that's for sure.
That's true.
Right? Yes.
It's all about framing. The same thing in life, I think we can go into this in the future, but a lot of times you stumble on a problem, whether it's in a marriage or just in life, you're single. Problems can become learning experiences, right? That's what they always teach you.
You grow from your problems.
Yeah, you grow from it.
Yeah.
So that's positive framing.
That's why everybody says, fail hard, fail big.
Exactly.
Because you learn everything.
Yeah.
From every mistake.
Every mistake.
That you make.
And the only type of mistake you're not learning from is the type that you let's say you make a mistake like 20 times, then you're probably not learning from mistakes, so you gotta think about it and re-examine it.
Well, it's like that science experiment they did, the shock therapy or whatever. Or not therapy, where they they electrocute a mouse to teach it not on a piece. They have one piece of cheese that has a, like electrical current going through it, and then they have another piece of cheese that doesn't. And if the mouse keeps going back to the one that's shocking it, obviously there's something.
Yeah, there's something cuckoo in there.
There's something going on upstairs.
I seem to always fall for crazy women, so I need to.
We all fall for crazy women every now and then because they're crazy. They're fun for a little bit, but then they get old.
Exactly.
Then you want something that's a little smarter, a little more put together.
Exactly.
Instead of dating girls, you got to date women. Big difference.
That's what you do.
Big difference, right? Difference. I met a woman.
So I think your eyes are so beautiful. It's like a diamond. Can you come closer so I can get a clearer look?
Okay.
And don't be shy. Oh, don't be shy. Oh my god, it's so special, the color. It's got a little bit green, but a little bit gray. Wow, it's very high quality. Yeah. Does my eyes look like diamond?
Not really.
Oh.
Basically, she's testing him. She's like, okay, will you do this for me? It's the same as in a bar.
Okay.
She asks you to buy her a drink, or she asks you to hold her drink or something like. She's like, oh, I like you. Can you come do this for me? AK, walk all the way here.
That's hilarious.
Come up to my face and show me your eyes.
He's a good-looking guy, so maybe he's just trying to get into like her space to maybe like persuade her, be like,
oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, get in my space. Maybe she'll connect. Maybe she'll, I don't know. Like, everybody has a bubble, and if you get put in that bubble, I don't know.
I never thought about it that way, but that could be a case. He's like, hey, if she likes my eyes, if I get in her bubble, she sees me better. She might like other things about me.
Yeah, because from afar, people look different. So up close and personal, like he's an attractive guy, as you guys can see. If his eyes I can't see his eyes, but if they're as piercing as they make him out to be, then maybe that's like something.
That's what you should do.
I mean, the eyes are the windows to the soul, so who knows?
Wow. This is why it's good to have a co-host. The way I interpreted it, she's like, okay, he wants to gain my favor. Is he going to do this for me? And if he does it for me, I'm going to knock him down a ring because he's not as attractive as I thought. Right? That's what girls, they want to see how
that works
autonomous guys are. They want to see, okay, is this guy going to be the suck-up and not take the lead and listen to me all the time, which is not attractive, or is he going to sometimes take a stand for himself?
Yeah.
So a more attractive response would have been like, you almost like bargain a little, but that's not the right way. You flirt a little.
Yeah.
Well, what am I going to get out of this girl?
She challenged him, and
Exactly.
I mean, as a male, when you're challenged, you feel less of a man if you don't do it. If you don't do it. So this is his way, I guess, of just being
so it's his way of saying, okay, I'll show it. But just how I would approach it, if she's like, oh, your eyes are pretty, come show me. I'm like, well, if I come over, give me a back rub or something.
Yeah.
I would flirt a little like that.
Puck her up, baby. Give me a kiss on the cheek.
Exactly. So the fact that he didn't do that, he just went over and kind of just listened to her. I feel like in her head, just like, attraction level.
Done.
But then he kind of recovered a little because he playfully said her eyes weren't as attractive as his.
Wow. That's kind of that's a burn.
So you think that's too much of a burn. So sometimes, if you make fun of her a little, but still playfully, and you do it right in a very confident way, you'll go back up. But maybe he burned her too much, so he just continues falling.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do these dating shows.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And it's all broadcast, national live.
Exactly. So if you fail, you fail hard.
In front of millions.
But then, goes back to what Wolfie says, it's about failing hard, right?
But
Life
you'll learn.
It's not failing hard. You learn. Exactly.
You learn. So maybe you won't go and walk up to some chick and be like,
yeah. Oh, you like my eyes? I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you every day.
Like diamonds.
Like diamonds in the sky. How does it go? Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. How do you tease your wife?
How do I tease my wife?
Yeah.
Men in general and myself, I tend to be kind of physical.
Okay, yeah, of course. Do you tickle her? Tickle fighting?
Sometimes. I mean, I find because she is ticklish, you want to do that more, right? If she wasn't ticklish, I probably wouldn't want to tickle her.
Exactly.
Because I'd be like, this isn't fun for me. I don't know. I guess I'm a groper. Well, she's my wife, so I feel like...
Yeah, you don't feel like there's any barrier, you know?
Yeah, there's no barrier, but like if I was on a dating show or something like this, I would be a little more... I wouldn't be just groping anybody.
Of course.
I wouldn't freaking Donald Trump it.
I just thought about a funny thing. You go up to her, you be like, oh, you like my eyes? And then you're like, okay, guide me to you. So you close your eyes so she doesn't get to see your eyes, and you kind of start stumbling blindly and see if she runs off to her podium trying to guide you.
Oh my God.
That's how you know you're turning the test around. You're like, how much does she like you?
No.
You know? Is she going to prevent you from falling?
Yeah, it's like going in for the kiss. You go the 90 and she's supposed to go the 10, right?
That's right.
And she
But
pulls away.
now you pull away, so now she's going 40 or 60.
Nope.
Damn, this guy knows his shit.
So I'm going to use my dialect to talk to you. Can you understand? Sure, try me. Would you ever get another girlfriend from Sichuan? No, I wouldn't.
So he showed himself very attractive by showing that he can understand a local dialect and he can kind of speak a local dialect. So it shows he's not just there and not assimilating. He actually wants to learn and maybe be a little bit of a Chinese person there.
Oh, yeah. Different parts of China where the dialect is different, is that looked upon as being very, like, higher status? Or
Not really higher status, just looked at as very local. For example, many people carry some of their dialect, at least the pronunciations, into how they speak Mandarin. You can tell where someone's from by how they speak Mandarin because you're like, oh, I hear a little Yunnan in you, or oh, I hear a little of the Jiangzhe in you. You're like that. So basically, if you learn a regional dialect and you're not from the region, they're like, wow, this guy actually tried. He actually tried to get to know our culture. He didn't just hang out with people who sound like him. In this segment, what it's showing is that when he was in Sichuan, he actually went out beyond just hanging out with, let's say, foreigners. He probably had some Chinese friends or something. He probably maybe even struck up conversations with locals. If you're a foreigner, people automatically speak English to you.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that not only did he learn the language, but he actually learned the regional dialect shows he actually went out of his way to be like, okay, no, don't speak English. Let's speak your dialect.
Your dialect.
So it shows he's respectful to the culture.
Respectful to the culture, yeah. No,
So it's attractive.
yeah, kudos, man.
But then we were talking about how he answered the question. She said, do you want to date another girl from Sichuan? And he flat out said no.
If I was him, I'd play, like, I'd be interested in the girl, but I'd play a little more hard to get. I mean, I feel like he's just, like, completely shutting it down and showing a little bit of desperation when he says that.
Yeah. Again, he wrote who he wanted, right, in Hebrew on his little spirit board or whatever.
Right. I forgot about that. Okay.
So basically what he's saying is, you're not it.
You're not it.
So he messed up because, he got rid of any speculation.
Yeah, you're right.
That girl realized she's eliminated, so why should I care for this guy? But even if he didn't have a girl in mind, like you said, he should have played hard to get a little bit.
I would have played it. Yeah, you're on this game show, and you might as well just have some fun.
Have some fun. Be like, my last girlfriend didn't cook well, and she claimed she was from Sichuan.
Yeah.
So, if a girl actually is from Sichuan and she knows how to cook, bam.
You should be cooking me dinner.
You should be cooking me dinner.
I'm just kidding.
And then if you cook me dinner for 2 years, I will give you the biggest ruby. Bam.
Bam. Done.
So now they reveal who he liked in Hebrew, and it's that girl, the girl in red.
I think she's a lot better looking.
Yeah. Oh, you think she's better looking than he is?
No, I know. I think he's better looking. I think she's better looking than the other girl.
No, than the other girl. He's like, no, I'm not going to date another girl from Sichuan. I see. Well, I agree. That other girl is your classic Sichuanese girl. You can just tell. She's like probably really hard to handle. Sichuan is the capital of spice. You know Sichuan sauce?
Yeah.
So like
Szechuan?
Sichuan sauce, exactly.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's where it came from. That's where like the real spicy cuisine
I'm
came
learning
from.
so much from you right now that I'm pretty impressed.
So now you know. Now you know where Szechuan sauce, as you call it, came from. The stereotype of the women there is that they're like the spice. They're like really tough to handle. They're like, you piss them off, they'll like argue with you.
I married a Latina, but kind of like how you got the Mexicans and you got Cubans are a little spicy, you know what I mean? And then Puerto Ricans, okay. Well, she's like the Cubans, I guess, in the Cuban world, in the Latin world. Okay.
And this girl in red is probably a little better. Now, the thing is, this show is a Shanghainese show, and Shanghai women are notoriously hard to handle. Very likely, she's not easy peasy either.
This is all new information to me.
Just
look at
because
her ears.
She's got, like, really big ears,
She's
right?
got big ears.
Yeah.
I mean, you just put the hair over it.
You just put the hair over it, or you just help her train jiu-jitsu, and then she'll become badass jiu-jitsu person,
my God.
and she'll protect you, and her ears are justified.
Yeah, that's true. She probably hears very well.
Exactly. Another thing I heard is that the ears keep growing.
Ears and nose.
Keep growing. So maybe
growing.
what that means is she's in her late 30s.
That could be.
That could be
oh.
it. No, maybe it's because, let's say if it shows her age. This show does not show her age. The other dating show shows the age, but this one doesn't show the age. You need to worry a little bit.
Yeah, because she could be, if he
Is
wants
she fertile?
kids. Is she fertile? She might not be able to have babies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
So big ears.
Big ears.
You can choose to accept him or reject him. If you go with him, you will take that rock. If you don't go with him, you will take that diamond. Do 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 do.
Either way, she's gonna end up with something.
For being the CEO of a diamond company, I guess diamonds are nothing for him.
Yeah.
But to just like give something like that away, like that's a value. Like I mean, I feel like she's gonna win regardless.
Yeah.
Unless he's giving her like a zirconian or something, like like a cheap diamond.
Or it'll have a thing that says "Psych, this is not a real diamond. You rejected me, so I'm rejecting you
Or
too."
it's like just candy.
It's just candy, yeah.
That's something I would do.
But like you said, I think maybe what he was trying to show was that, look, I'm the CEO of this diamond company. I don't care. Look at that. Diamonds, they're like...
He was kind of flaunting, right?
Maybe he was trying to flaunt, but I don't think he was confident enough to pull it off. I don't think we got that vibe from
No,
that
because
segment.
when he was standing there, he was just like, hey. I wouldn't even give her the second option.
Yeah.
I'd be like, look, you come with me, you get this. If you don't come with me, you're on your own.
Yeah, and from her perspective, she's like, well, either way, I'm going to get something.
Yeah.
So if I don't like him, hey, he's still giving me a diamond.
I wonder, I'd like to ask him, why did you...
Trying to look like he's rich.
Yeah.
But maybe after the show ends, she's going to be like, this is not even real. What the fuck? He's like, well, you rejected me, biatch. Right? But he can't do that on television.
Nope, but he can do it afterwards.
Exactly.
That's funny,
So
yeah.
maybe that's what he did.
Maybe that's what he did,
But just knowing him, looking at how sort of, what's the word? He's so just, he really wants her. Right?
Yeah.
He really wants her. You can tell he's very desperate.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was his intention.
No, probably not. I just think he's probably not good on the dating game, and he's probably not he's probably not a very confident guy. So he's just pulling. He's like, I gotta get her. He's getting desperate now. I think
it's like the guy. Remember Clark Gable from Gone with the Wind, right? He keeps giving Scarlett stuff. He's like, I'm gonna bribe my way into your heart.
Yeah.
And then
never works.
Yeah, it never works. Eventually, Scarlett realizes that she loves him, but it's because Clark Gable's character, Rhett Butler, to his credit, is a very manly guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think either Scarlett was sick or she was hurt or something, and then she's like, oh, that Ashley person she liked, and he's like a wimpy guy, right? So he's like, oh, this is when I need my rock.
Yeah.
And that's when she realized, oh, I still, even though this guy is head over heels over me, as in Rhett Butler, Clark Gable's character, I still love him for other traits. He's a very manly guy. He's a solutions-based person.
Yeah.
But by then, Rhett's realized I spent so much time and effort and money on this girl, and that's why he's like, I don't give a damn, girl.
Yeah, I just think he's super desperate.
Yeah, he is. And desperation is not attractive.
No one likes it. You got to apply that even in your in life in general, and in dating, and searching for jobs. In my case, auditions. If you walk into an audition and you're desperate, they know that right away.
Exactly. You just have to be like, this is who I am, and this is what I offer. Take it.
If you don't like it, adios.
Exactly. Have you ever auditioned for a role that you kind of were desperate for?
Oh yeah. In the beginning, early in my career, I mean, I'm over a decade invested now, but earlier when I really wanted a role, like I would study and study and study, and I would go in and I'd study so much, I'd be kind of robotic in the performance. But when you're desperate, it just, I feel like in your brain, it just shuts off your creative side.
Yeah.
You end up not getting the role. So that's why I preach everybody, just like, let it go. It doesn't matter. Like, I'd always harass my agents and managers afterwards, after an audition, be like, what'd they think? Did they like me? Did they like me? It's like, when you're done with an audition, just step out, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
On to the next, But personally, I learned that as I got older.
Yeah.
As a kid, when you're out here, you're moving from Canada, coming out here, and it's a massive city. And everybody thinks that, oh, I'm going to make it. I'm different. But are you? Confidence works in all aspects of your life.
And lack of dependence on outcome, which is a little different than confidence, but it shows in your confidence too. Lack of dependence on how the outcome is. Even if, let's say, he didn't care what the outcome was, the way he's holding it would be just different.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, his expression, his body language would be different. He'd be like, whatever, I don't care.
It's not going to affect the food on the table, the roof over my head. I don't care.
Well, first of all, I am very traditional, and I love my parents. And I cannot leave my parents to go to Israel with you for a few months. I'm going to miss my grandma and my mother. And second of all, I am a very direct type of girl. I'm very blunt. And you talk about how your ex-girlfriend, you would do things to make her happy. And it didn't work out because she didn't change the right way. I don't think I'm that type of girl. I won't want to change myself just for you.
One of the things he said before, during the segment before he revealed that he likes her, is he told all the women, because I'm the CEO of this diamond company or whatever, I need to spend a few months of a year in Israel. So if we're going to date, we're going to get married, you have to come with me to Israel for a few months. And so traditional values, traditional women in China, they're probably not going to be like, oh, I want to be around my mother and my father who spoiled me all my life. You know, they don't want to be like, I don't want to go to Israel. And so that's one reason. The second reason is she seems like a more independent type of woman. She seems like a woman that doesn't want to be like, oh yeah, do stuff for me and I'll be happy. Oh, do this for me, I'm happy. Or give me something, I'm happy.
She's very independent. Yeah. Wow. And that's tough. She
feels like temperament-wise, they're not the right fit. Like she doesn't want to be a docile. She wants to be a go-getter in the relationship. Maybe she even wants to take charge in the relationship.
I mean, confidence is sexy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a very Shanghai type of personality. It's like, oh, I'm a go-getter. Back in the day in Shanghai, I don't think it happens anymore, but Shanghai was the first city where they would call a woman Mr. Like, if she was a successful business person or something, they would call her Mr.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Let's say you had a sister named Sadie. They call her Mr. Sadie because she's a very, very successful business person. She's very held in high regard.
So because she's held in high regard, they just refer to her as a man?
Yeah, they give, not really refer to her as a man, but they
address her as that.
They give the highest merits that are associated with men to her. So basically it's like equality. It's saying, man, we're treating her as equal as we can, even though she's a woman. Shanghai was like the city, it was one of the first, like it was like a feminist wet dream kind of for like equality. And so this woman, I'm just guessing she's just a Shanghainese woman, and she doesn't want a guy who just like, oh yeah, you know, you're not happy, I'll make you feel better. She wants to feel better herself when she's not happy. She wants to, you know,
she wants to take charge. She wants to wear the pants in a relationship, et cetera, et cetera. Oh.
Or maybe she wants to just wear the pants for herself. For herself, she doesn't want him being paternal. She's like, no, if I'm unhappy, don't try to make me feel better. I'm gonna feel better myself.
Wow. I mean, maybe she's a lesbian.
Maybe she's a lesbian. Well, she's an attractive lesbian.
There's a lot of powerful, dominant women that like to take charge.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fine.
In a relationship, I feel like you got to find like a balance.
You have to find a balance. When to show that dominant side and when not to. You know? Like, I feel like if you're both dominant people,
it's going to be a lot of problems.
It's going to be a lot of problems. Yeah. So you got to find submissive women. Yeah. You know?
So it's either a balance, like the two of you take charge in different things. Mm-hmm. So that way you're not clashing.
Yeah.
Or it's like you said, it's a polarity. So one guy or the girl is very dominant, the guy or the girl is very submissive. Compromise. So it's either polarity or it's a balance.
Yeah.
You never can have the same issues you guys both feel very strongly about, both want to take charge.
Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster.
What are some things you take charge of that your wife doesn't, and what are some things your wife takes charge of that you don't? Or your wife just takes charge of everything?
No, she... I'll do dishes. I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. She likes to cook. Go ahead and cook. She cooks. I'll clean everything up. I think that's an equal balance. Yeah. If both people hated doing dishes, then you're both going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? But that's where there's going to be those problems, you know? And
what about, like, planning for vacation or stuff like that?
Oh, that's... I mean, she likes to do more of that stuff. Like, she's like the planner and stuff like that. I kind of just go. I do like to have a plan, like, laid out, but...
So in a way, maybe she's more macro, you're more micro. So that's how you guys compromise in a way. So, like, she plans the vacation, then you're like, okay, well, I have the car, and I'm going to drive, and I'm going to figure out the route. Kind of like that.
See, that's something...
So macro, micro.
I didn't even think that's... Yeah, macro, micro.
If they were both macro, then that would suck, right? Because then it's like, oh, I want to go to Tahiti. No, I want to go to Maldives. Maldives?
The Maldives.
Yeah. And it's like, but if you were both micro, then it's like you're driving, she's like, oh, go here. No, go here. No, turn here, turn here. You're like, shut the fuck up. Men who are tired of women trying to micromanage them when they're driving, they stand next to the woman when she's cooking. She's like, oh, put the salt in now. No, you batter the eggs this way. Just to show her how annoying it is.
My wife does not like driving, and she hates driving on the highways in LA here, but I don't mind. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it's just finding just finding that balance, see what works for you. But that's why people date, to find out what those balances, if they're gonna clash in the end, you know what I mean? But for me, I just feel like I got lucky because I've been on dates where there have been women who are very dominant. Now, you don't have to buy me a drink. You know, it doesn't mean I got to sleep with you. And I was like, no, I'm just trying to be nice because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I went on this date with this girl who was really attractive. We went to a bar, and then one of the first things she said to me was that she's like, you know, I usually don't do this. And I was like, do what? Date? You know, go on a date? I just felt like she kept making me feel like it was a privilege for her to be there. And I was like, well, what the hell are you wasting?
Exactly.
Why'd you waste our time?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
See, he has a good mindset. When she was trying to be like, well, I'm the prize, man. You should value me. He's like, well, I'm the prize too. So like, why is there this bullshit where you think you're better than me? See, that's an attractive mindset.
I thought she wanted to be there just as much as I did. My thing is like, if you didn't want to be there, why'd you agree to do it?
Exactly.
I'm terrible at just dating stuff. That's why
you got married.
That's why I got married.
I have an idea for you. So this is gonna solve the conundrum. So take the diamond, and then after the show, we can meet at a restaurant and eat together. So then you can give me back the diamond if you want.
So that was a very interesting idea. So gives her room.
He's saying, after the fact, you can still give me back the ring on a date, after a date. So, scheming, he's like, no matter what, I want her back on a date.
I think he's trying to like lure her off into like a private setting, which is fine because here's the thing: when you're on national television, I feel like all gloves are off because there's a part of you is like you kind of want to not make everybody mad. You don't want everybody to know everything about you, all these things. If she meets him on like a personal level in a cafe, she might see him differently. Yeah, he might be just like shy. Maybe that's why he's nervous too. That's why he feels less confident because he's not confident being on camera on live TV.
Exactly.
So I'd cut the guy a break, maybe.
She says she's an independent woman, and she's acting that way. She's like, I don't feel good about rejecting you. You gave me an either or. It's like, you take this rock or this rock, but I want to give you a third option, which is I reject you and I give you back the rock. I don't need your rock. Mm-hmm. I think that's a pretty attractive thing she did. If he manages to get her on a date, kind of informal date, when the cameras are turned off, maybe they can have more perspective, talk about each other's dreams, each other's goals.
They can have real conversation, because, like I said, the guy's probably never been on TV. He's on a soundstage. There's an audience, and there's cameras that they're broadcasting live, so you can see where the whole bribing thing could be just for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
If I was her, I'd be like, okay, let's meet in a cafe or something, just talk.
And I've heard contestants, and you guys can see that video, where one contestant reflected that after filming the show, they did all go to a bar, and like there were some hookups between some of the contestants and the girls. So
dirty.
Maybe this is his way of saying, dude, if there's an after party, like I'm gonna be there, you're gonna be there, you can give this back to me, or we could fuck, and then you can have this.
You can get on your way with it.
A lot of my audience keeps saying, Jared, go on, and it would be fun, I think. But it's also very intimidating, like you said.
I actually did do like a dating show.
You did do a dating show? Tell us about it.
It was, you guys know who Carly Styles is? Carly Styles, Shay Carl's older sister.
Okay.
She had this, it was the YouTube Bachelor.
Oh.
And you had to submit all these submissions and stuff. And you just submitted all your submissions, and they finalized everything down to like 8 guys, and I was one of them. And this was like 9 years ago.
Okay.
A while ago.
So this is before you met your wife.
We were dating.
Mm-hmm.
We were dating. For my professional advancement, I thought it'd be great to get on a dating show. Clearly, it does not work.
So tell me about the dating show. What happened?
I would basically, we had to answer all these questions. We had to submit like video submissions that they ended up uploading later for like the audience and whatnot. But I never made it.
So they never brought you on the show.
This is the weird thing, because I was on the show because they took my interview and then they uploaded the interview with Shay Carl and all these guys, and she got to select from the 8, and the winner goes on the date with her.
Oh, and then
so she actually, the winner, there's like this, there's like a buff dude, and there's like me, who was the actor or whatever, and all kinds of different guys, working professionals, lawyers, and whatever. Strange. I think my cousin submitted me for it. I didn't even know. And until I started getting random emails from like Shay Carl in Carly Styles' channel. And I was like, oh, I guess I was selected. So I just kind of like went with it. But it was a lot of fun. And Shay, I met Shay, and I know Shay, I know Carly, and they're both, I still chat with Carly occasionally. She's married now, has another kid, but on Twitter and whatnot. So I understand kind of what this guy's doing, because you want to ham it up a little bit.
Yeah. You want to look your best.
You want to look your best, but in the end, you can kind of fall short.
Yeah, because by trying, you're already not being yourself, you see? And then you try hard because it's on national television, and
you just fall right on your face.
Well, now if you're ever on a show, you'd have to be on a show for married couples.
Yeah.
Like one of those Temptation Island episodes, but like with married couples.
Or Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid, or like Fear Factor Couples Edition.
Oh, yeah, they do have those ones, too.
They did.
I mean, I don't think my wife would do Fear Factor. She's petrified of cockroaches.
I see. Cucaracha.
Cucaracha.
That's it, man.
That's it?
What are some lessons? We learned don't be needy. Don't be too desperate. Don't be dependent on the outcome.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Gentlemen, guys, confidence.
And frame things positively.
Yeah.
You didn't ditch your math major because you couldn't appease your father. You ditched it because you found something better. You found a better way to make money. You know, that's positive framing.
Yeah, do things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And do it for yourself and don't do it to please others.
Imagine if he, after every acting audition, he justified it. Think Wolfie being like, oh, it's because I wasn't good enough. Would he get anywhere? No. You have to think things positively. They were looking for another type of look, or the person had connections.
It's so look. It's a lot of it is look.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, what I recommend for actors, that is like have something else.
Yeah.
To do, and for me, it was starting a business. So I started, so I wasn't completely putting. Yes, you want to have that that pinhole vision, where you just focus on acting, which is great. For me, it was dividing my time and starting a business and focusing on that while still pursuing acting. And what's weird is that I've been busier now without an agent or a manager as an actor than I was when I had an agent and manager. Mm-hmm. Yes, I auditioned a heck of a lot more back then, but now when I audition, I'm booking more things because
you're more efficient.
I'm more efficient and I'm not desperate.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not going to affect the food on my table, the roof over my head, the relationship with my wife, et cetera, et cetera. It's confidence. Yeah. And I think that just comes with aging and getting older. You know, like I'm 34 years old. 31 was a big transition for me. You know, letting everything that bothered me in my 20s, I completely forgot about. I don't even care about it. I was told by people in their 40s, when you hit 40, that's like every 10 years there's like this big like revelation where you're like, wow, that bothered me at one point. And you just really just let it go.
Yeah.
Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You learn your responses from it and whatnot. And sometimes it's going on dates. Those are super awkward, uncomfortable situations, absolutely. Right? And you learn things about yourself too.
Oh yeah.
You know, have you been dating at all, or
not really? Not since college.
Not since college.
Yeah.
Man, how many years ago was that?
It's almost going on like 6 years.
Jerry, 6 years.
Introduce me to some of your friends.
Jerry, really? Yeah. 6 years?
I just don't feel like it. It's not that I don't feel like it. You have other things you want to do.
That's true. And what we were talking about earlier, it's hard to find someone who understands you.
Yeah, look at how fucking weird I am. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, weird is good.
Yeah, I'm weird.
Because if no one says you're weird, you just blend in with everybody else. I'm
at the point now in my life where sometimes I get too weird too soon. And like people are like, ooh, this guy's like sometimes girls that I want to test them a little, so maybe I go a little bit overboard. It's probably not the right approach if I really want to date, but I'm just like, fuck it. If she doesn't like me now, why should I care?
It's true. You got to weed yourself through all the nays, and then at the end you'll find the right one. But patience, take your time, and you'll find the right one. Yeah. Just don't be desperate.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying. Just don't be desperate.
And the thing is, if you have a life that is filled with lots of things you're passionate about, you won't be desperate.
No.
Like, I'm not desperate at all. And I don't think I'm ever going to be desperate. And the thing is, if I have more friends like him, they might drag me into that mode. What that means is, maybe I need to hang out with you less. I'm just kidding. Okay. He's great. With the exception of a few, most of my friends do their own thing. They're either focused on their art, or they're focused on making money, or they're focused on something else. Mm-hmm. Females can be like priority number 10, priority number 12. And this type of mentality scares a lot of people, because a lot of people, like, they're so horny, or they're taught for so long that females have to be number 2 or number 1, right? And then you meet people like us who are just like, yeah, it's number 10, it's number 12.
Yeah, when you have that mindset, you end up finding the right girl.
That's what they always say. But I'm honestly... If I never find the right girl, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
I feel like you're so busy. You work so hard.
I do.
You're one of the hardest working. Yeah, you're one of the hardest working guys I know. So I mean, I'm sure Miss Wright will soon turn into Mrs. Lou.
Oh wow! I'm not gonna get married though, but I wouldn't mind someone that steady. But I think marriage
is not. Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. For me personally, it was something I'm gonna do once in my life, and if it fails. Knock on wood, I hope it never fails. If it fails, I will never do it again. That's it. You know what I mean? I would date. I'd have a girlfriend, but I would never get married. Mm-hmm.
You're more like, okay, let's at least touch the stove once.
Yeah.
And if it's hot and it burns me, I'm never going to touch it again.
Yeah.
And for me, my philosophy behind it is, well, so many people have touched the stove and it's hot and it's burned them. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to repeat other people's mistakes, knowing that it's...
Of course.
But then there are marriages that last, like, long time.
Yeah.
And they last forever.
No, my parents 40 plus years. My wife's parents 40 plus years.
Wow.
But maybe that has something to do with us being married. And I mean, thus far it's been great. You know, married for 3 years, together for 8. But maybe because the way we were brought up, we were brought up in homes that are married. But then again, I've seen it where people are married for a long time and they've had divorced parents, you know, and I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a whole other video.
And it's a whole nother exploration.
Yes.
You can follow his channels if you search Wolfgang Weber, or you search Air, like Airwolf, because
that's my
he does
company.
drone stuff.
Yeah. I'm a drone pilot as well as an actor, so that's like my day job. And then I'm an actor at night and during the day. All depends.
He's helped out on my fight commentary channel before,
Oh,
so
that's
you
funny.
can see those videos too.
Yeah. Great, guys.
Cool. Thank you so much, Wolfgang.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you all for tuning in.